Okay, so we have successfully set up our card data in local storage. So let's check that actually. Let's just close this window, and what we're going to do is we're going to run the server again. We'll just close all of this and run the server again. Okay. Okay, so we cleared our data and we rerun the server again. Now let's go back to Redux and see what we are getting. Okay, so as you can see, we have our cart items and they are ready. Like we got this from our local storage and then set this up uh in our Redux store. So now what we have to do is each time we change our cart or we remove an item from our cart, we have to we have to get the set everything to our local storage, and this use effect will be run every time. So that's what we have to do. But there is a better way. I mean this way you can implement it with your local storage in this way too. But if we are as we are using Redux, there is a better way. So there is another called library called Redux Persist. This one. So it was published 5 years ago, but look at the weekly downloads still now. So Redux persist. What is Redux persist? So as the name implies, it persists the stored data. So whatever reducer you are using with the persist, that store will be automatically saved. So under the hood, actually Redux persist uses local storage, but it does everything under the hood. So you do not have to manually set up everything in local storage and then get everything from the local storage. You can just keep on using your Redux store like normally. You set up the store and everything, but the updating the store from local storage, that Redux persist will do that for you under the hood. So you do not have to worry about setting up everything in the local storage. You just have to implement the Redux logic. Okay, so how do we set up that? So first of all, let's install the library first. So I'll go here. Okay, I'll do a git push again. Okay, now let's install it. Sorry, you have to use the use force because there are some conflicting dependencies. So the legacy peer depths. Okay, it is installed. So now we have to set up our Redux persist. So how do we do that? First of all, we have to import this storage from Redux persist. So it defaults to local storage, right? So under the hood, it is actually using local storage. So to do that, what do we have to do? We have to come to the store, and then we have to get the storage from here. And then what we have to do is we have to get the persist config object. So let's copy that. Okay. And then we have to create a persisted reducer. Persist get. Okay, then we have to create a persistor. So let's do that. So we have to take this persistor, and how do we create that? This persistor, we have to import it. So Redux Persist store this one. Okay, let's just copy it from here. Okay, so then we have to export this one too. So I'll do export const persister. So after that, we are already exporting the store and our persister. So let's do that. So instead of what we have to do now is we have to go to the main layout. Uh, okay, did we do it in the main layout? I think we did it in app. Okay, so now you have to wrap your provider like between your provider and your other components. Like it is not over the provider, it is between your provider and other components like your children and the provider. We have to use this persist gate. So let's import that. And we have to use this component here, like right between provider and the other children. So we'll do persist gate and paste everything here, and it will take two parameters. We'll take sorry, store, and for that we'll pass our store. And we have another props that is this one is persister. Okay, I think we do not need the store. Let's see. um, okay, I think we do not need the store. The persister, and this persister will come from our Redux store, like this one we created here. Okay, now instead of just cart reducer, we have to wrap this reducer inside our persist reducer, right? So how do we do that? Do that from here, like persisted reducer. Okay, I'll do cart persisted reducer, and instead of root reducer, we'll just put cart reducer here, and here instead of cart reducer, we'll just do persisted reducer. Okay, so that's how we do the configuration. First of all, you have to create a persist config. Then we can just instead of just using normal reducer, we wrap that normal reducer inside a persist reducer, which is coming from Redux Persist. It will take two parameters, our persist config and the reducer that you want to be persisted. So if you want all of the stores, all of the states or stores or reducers in your Redux store to be persisted, you have to take a different approach. You have to use the combined reducer. So that is a bit complex, but we do not want to persist everything. We just want to maybe persist the cart and maybe the odd data. So for now, I'll just use it for persist reducer. So now we have to do is, I think we have to rerun the server again. Okay. Let's go back. Okay. Okay. So we have our cart items. Let's reload. Okay, see, we have our cart items here, and we have another store that is called persist, right? So now if we go to our slice, and let's just not store it to local storage, and also in our main layout, I'm going to remove this use effect here. Okay, now let's go back and clear our local storage first, and this cart too. Okay, now let's reload again. Okay, now our cart is clear and we do not have anything in our local storage. And if we check our Redux, there is nothing in the cart items. So now if I go and add something to the cart, okay, let's select the attributes and select the quantity. Okay, add to cart. So now our yeah, an item is added to the cart. Let's reload the whole page and let's see what happens. Okay, as you can see, we have that cart item is still here, right? It didn't go away. If I go to the code, we are not getting the cart item each time we are reloading, right? So I'll remove everything from here. And in the cart slice, we are not setting up anywhere in our project to anything to local storage, right? We are not setting the cart to our local storage. We are not getting it from our local storage and updating it. Redux Persist does everything for us. So even if we reload, the cart item is still here. So if I go to my application again, as you can see, it is actually still using the local storage, but we do not have to control it manually. So as you can see here, it is using the local storage, but it does the updating the Redux store and everything under the hood. So we do not have to worry about it manually. So if I clear the local storage and reload again, let's go back to Redux and see our cart item is empty. So it is doing the same thing, like it is adding something to our storage, but what the advantage is, we do not have to manually update each time we reload or each time the user comes back. We do not have to manually load everything from our local storage and set it up in our storage again. And also, if we had like 5 different actions here, right, which actually we are going to have, like there are maybe 5 to 6 actions. So each time and we dispatch an action, we have to update that in the local storage. So you have to write too much code and you also have to monitor how you setting up in your local storage. But with this, Redux Persist will do everything for you. How they are setting up in the local storage, how they are getting the data. You do not have to worry about anything. You just use the Redux store as just like before without persist. With persist, you just use it the same way, just the setup is different, right? And the setup is very simple. If you follow their documentation, you might like if you're using it for the first time, it might seem difficult, but if you read their documentation closely and you show some resources, I think you'll be able to implement that easily. Okay.